Oh, Ron, would you?
Paul?
Paul, where did I get Ron? I was thinking about
I gotta turn them up.
Don't turn them too loud. I was thinking about the water.
I know.
At the point.
Okay, we're in local spots. Your headphones are up.
And Indian River Boulevard. We're a church large enough to meet your needs. You have the power to help others treasure God.
He's a card. Oh, right.
This is the last spot, and then David's open.
All right, thank you.
I was over there last time. I'm sitting over here this time. It's different.
When you talk into the side of the microphone.
Okay.
Here. And
Donations are
Okay.
accepted.
How's that?
Comfortable?
and we're on Facebook, just to let you know.
We're
Oh,
on
I'm going to be on
Facebook.
TV?
We're on Facebook. So
Stand by, you're in the open, David.
everything you say will be held against you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is David Walsh, welcoming you to our People of Interest show this morning. My co-host is Kathy Cooper, as usual. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, David.
And this morning, we're privileged to have with us Senator Debbie Mayfield. Good morning,
Good
Debbie.
morning, David.
Just completed your first session as a senator.
Yes, we did. It was an interesting year to be a freshman in the Senate, but it was good. We had a great time.
Now one of 40 instead of one of 120.
One of 40. That's
Yeah,
right. That's
it's
right.
like it's a big classroom. You're in row 3.
It's fun. Listen, everybody says, "What's the difference between
Yeah.
being in the Senate and the House?" But I think they're a little bit closer knit family in the Senate. Everyone wants everyone to succeed.
Yeah.
And so you work really closely with all your senators. So
Well, you have a better opportunity. There's not so
Absolutely.
many people you can
Yes.
focus
Absolutely.
focus a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's still a haul, the traveling to Tallahassee.
It is. It is.
But you've been doing it a long time.
Yeah, but 9 years now.
9 years.
Right. I usually leave on Sunday night or either Monday morning, depending on what time we have to be there. And then I come back Thursday night or Friday morning, depending on how late we are Thursday or if we have to be there Friday. But I'm home every weekend. I think there was only one weekend or maybe 2 weekends I didn't come home, and that was because we had conferencing over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I had to stay in Tallahassee, but I'll come home.
I
every
guess they
weekend.
do have a lot of accommodations up there for representatives and senators, right?
Well, most of the time you'll rent a spot. You'll rent a place for the 3 or 4 months.
I see.
But I'm fortunate enough we bought a condo, so I have a condo that's about 3 blocks from the Capitol now.
Well, that's good because you do need a little respite.
Yeah.
I mean, to collect your thoughts.
Well, it's true, and it's nice to be able to just to have all your stuff there, and not have to pack up every weekend. So it's like all my stuff is there that I need for the week, and so it's a little bit more convenient. So it's very enjoyable.
That sounds nice. When David was asking you about sitting in there and all, are you designated a chair? A place to sit?
Oh, yeah,
She's in the third row.
I'm in the third row.
Oh, you are in the third
row.
Oh, well, I just thought
But
David
there's only
was
4 rows there. Let me make sure.
Well,
There's
I
4
thought-
rows, and I'm either the third from the front or the
Second
one
from
from
the
the
back.
back.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
either way, it's you don't complain about where you sit. It's just like at least you're sitting on the floor.
Right. Well, you know
don't
how-
whine about your sitting location, but
You know how David is. I thought he was just pulling it out of the air.
no. But I will tell you, I was sat one over from the appropriations chair, which made it really nice because I was able to talk to Senator Latvala when he was in his chair on appropriation issues. So there's not a bad house on the floor. No matter where you sit, and it's real enjoyable.
That's
So you're
great.
vice chairman of the education committee.
Yes.
How big a committee is that?
I think we have 12 people sitting on that. It's one of the bigger committees, but it's all the committees are somewhat a little bit smaller than the House. But on that particular committee, we had about 12 people sitting on it, I believe.
So it's much more intimate, as you already said, between the representative in the Senate, and you meet people from diverse sections of Florida. Florida is such a huge state. Eye opener for you?
Not really. Just being in the House, that was, it was the same. The difference is in the House you have about 158 residents that you represent, and the Senate is 500,000. So it is a bigger territory that you cover. I mean, we have all of Indian River, and then we have about 3/4 of Brevard County. So we go all the way up to Rockledge in Brevard County. So if you look at
you got
Rockledge
Melbourne
South,
and
we have Melbourne, we have Cocoa Beach, we have Satellite Beach. So from Cape Canaveral south on the Barrier Island, and from the Rockledge, we don't have Rockledge. We have a small part of Rockledge, but not all of it. South, all the way to the St. Lucie County line. So it's a huge, large area.
You run banking and insurance. Well,
yeah, well, I served on the Banking Insurance Committee, and there was a couple of bills that we didn't get through, which was the assignment of benefits. The House and the Senate couldn't agree on what the assignment of benefits needed to be, and that was a really heated committee on those issues, as well as workman's comp. That one was not. Did not pass either because the House and the Senate could not come to terms.
You went to school in Santa Fe?
I took some courses at Santa Fe Community College. Yeah.
In what?
And well, actually, it was in English and accounting. So some of the courses that I really wanted to sharpen my skills on working in the banking industry. So I worked at Barnett Bank at the same time in Gainesville. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, and being in banking for almost 30 years, that's being in banking and insurance was
was right up your alley.
It was right up my alley.
And the Appropriations Committee is also something you're involved with.
Yes. I served on the Ag and Natural Resource Appropriations Committee, which is a lot of where the lagoon financing and policies are put into place, any water quality policies put into place. So served on that, as well as the Ag on Government operations, which is the all the other government agencies.
General Government, Environmental and Natural Resources, Judiciary
Committee,
and Joint Legislative. You're well prepared because you've been in the legislature.
Yeah.
It's you're in a lot of different committees.
Yes, we are. Well, there's only 40 of us, so we have to, we have to do double duty on a lot of the committees that we serve on.
And your responsibility regarding the Cape Canaveral, and does anything come up with the space program? Do you have anything to do with that?
Yeah, actually we did. I think it was $16 million is what was funded to Space Florida. And Frank DeBella is the CEO of Space Florida and oversees that money. And that's the money that he uses to entice commercialization through the Cape Canaveral. So in Space Florida, so
a lot of jobs over there.
A lot of there. He's helping create a lot of jobs through the private sector. So yes, but that actually was interesting, is that's not in my district. That's in Senator Hugel's district. But she and I work very closely together on a lot of these issues because we have overlapping.
Sure, you have to.
Yes. So and she's a great mentor to have.
Well, we just had the 4th of July yesterday.
Yes.
Were you sitting home?
No, I was walking Sebastian Parade. We had a great time. We got ice pops, and we were handing out ice pops during the parade. But yeah, we walked in the. We had a float, and we were in the Sebastian Parade. And someone came up to me and they said, "You don't have an election this year, do you?" And I'm like, "No, I don't run for 3 more years. I had a 4-year term." And he goes, "Well, I'm so surprised to see you here. It's not an election year." And I'm like, "Well, this is, I enjoy coming to these. You get to see all your friends that are coming to the parade, and you get to meet new friends, and it was a lot of fun. We had a great time."
I went to a Republican meeting one time, a local committee meeting, and a politician showed up and he said, "Well, I haven't been here since I was elected 4 years ago." And I thought, well, I don't think you got my vote. I mean, I wouldn't even admit it if I was in that condition.
I know. As a Republican, you would think that people would attend. And that's been one of the struggles being on this as a senator, because you know, our Republican Executive Committee in Indian River County and the Brevard Executive Committee meet on the same night.
Oh, my
and then the
goodness.
Republican Women Club that meets on Monday here, the Indian River Republican Women's Club, they meet on Monday. Is the same Monday that the Brevard Women's Club meets. So what I've been trying to do is rotate every other month.
That's all you can do.
That's all you, yeah, I know, because, but that is, it's very, that's the more challenging thing, is making sure that I'm still out and about in the communities.
Well, you're out and
attending.
about. You no question about that.
Yes, I was going to ask, how are you able to reach your new constituents? Yes.
Well, we have our office in, you know, Margaret Mitchell is my legislative
Margaret
aide.
Mitchell, I
David
said to her,
said-
how did you get away from writing the book and you're still around here? But she was most accommodating.
Margaret is wonderful.
She
She was my district secretary, and she stayed on now as my legislative aide in Indian River County, and we have an office. Indian River County was very gracious to provide us an office space in the county administration building, and so we're on the second floor, right above David Nolte's office, and that's, you know, Margaret is housed out of that. And she still is very much active in the community, and she helps me. And that's how, when you say, how can you do all of that? Well, it's because you have good people that work with you that make sure that you're informed of what's happening and that you're engaged, that you continue to stay engaged in it, because there's no way I can know everything. And that's Margaret's role here in Indian River County. And she is out and about as well, and she lets me know what's happening.
And so your local office is in the administrative building.
It is, county
over
administration.
David Nolte's office.
Right above his office in Building B.
That's
and
a good
then
thing.
and then Brevard County, we have an office that's in the City of Melbourne administration building, and so we have 2 offices there in that building, and that's where I have Patrick Steele as my legislative aide, and Kayla, I think I just lost her last name.
Kayla's good
Kayla
enough.
Bailey.
Yeah,
Kayla
good.
Bailey is also one of our legislative aides. So we have 2 in Brevard, and we have Margaret here in Indian River.
Well, in all your activities, somehow or other, people have noticed. You have an A rating from the Florida Chamber of Commerce.
Some years.
Pardon me?
Some years.
Well, it's 2016.
Yeah, I did. I did okay this year with them.
An A rating for the Foundation for Florida's Future, that's 2016. An A rating recognized as champion of economic freedom, Americans for Prosperity, that's 2015, 2016. An A rating, I mean, what about a B rating once in a while? I mean,
Well, I have gotten some of those in the past. You know, and what I tell people too is when you look at those, you have to look at what they're rating you on, because you may not necessarily agree with what they're trying to rate you on.
Well, we'll agree to come back in a minute.
Absolutely.
Good wound up.
That was great.
It's a good
I tell
thing
you
you're-
what.
It's a good thing you're like keeping him on tab. It's like,
I was getting so, I saw in the 3 minute, but you're so interesting, and I'm learning, I'm excited for you. It's so exciting. And so all of a sudden it was 3 minutes. I looked and it was 1 minute. I was like, oh.
the one thing that I want to make sure that we do cover is our delegation meetings that'll be coming up.
Okay.
We have the Indian River delegation meeting has been tentatively set for November 29th. Because we're still confirming a location, and then the Brevard delegation, which I don't know if you guys reach all the way up in Brevard or not, but Brevard is going to be September 21st. So we can talk a little bit about why it's important to attend those delegation meetings. And
This
get
is
your voice.
now what is the
It's called
delegation?
delegation meeting. That's where the House members and senators for the counties, like Indian River County, is just Aaron Graw and myself,
Okay.
because that's all that represents Indian River. Brevard County, we have Senator Hugel and myself, and Tom Goodson, and Randy Fine.
So there's an open forum, like?
Yes, well, it's not as much an open forum, but because you have to, we'll send out forms for the people to fill out that want to come. They have to contact our office, and then we'll
Like
send
a
them
town
out.
hall meeting?
Exactly, but it's more you're coming, residents are coming, telling us what it is they want to talk. You know, some of
Okay.
the issues that they have concerns about, whether it's funding that they're trying to get for their nonprofit, or whether it's policy changes that they feel needs to be made.
What else? What else? A little closer.
Yeah.
This is November. What about anything a little closer?
Geez, I don't know what I have. Well, Florida Power and Light has their groundbreaking for the solar facility that's coming up
Stand
Actually,
by in
Monday,
studio. 10
Dad.
seconds.
actually Monday is Brevard County. Florida Power and Light's having the groundbreaking. I can't remember exact location.
There's so many things that you were involved with, Senator Debbie Mayfield. It sounds nice calling you Senator, and I appreciate everything you do. I know that you're very active. We have things coming up. We have a delegation, which is kind of like a town hall meeting. That's in November.
Right. Well, we have. I'll be on 2 delegation meetings. We have Indian River County delegation meeting.
That's in September.
And that's the one that's going to be November 29th.
Okay.
Tentatively, we're still, Representative Graw is the chairman of that one. And that's, she's working on finalizing the date and the location. It'll be held in the county administration chambers, but it's always in conjunction with the chamber.
Okay.
So the chamber is confirming a location for the luncheon after. It's kind of it's the same way we do every year. We do a 9 o'clock. It's from 9 o'clock until 12:30, and then at 12:30 we go over to either the Heritage Center or the old courthouse and have lunch that the chamber sponsors. So I think we're waiting, or our Representative Rawls waiting to hear back from the chamber as to whether or not they have a facility. So right now it's tentatively set for November 29th in the Indian River Chambers. And that is a time where the nonprofit groups can come out and talk about policy changes that they feel needs to be made, our budget requests that they have. The school district comes out, the government entities come out, and they just tell us what's going on. Indian River State College, Dr. Massey always does a great job at these presenting at the delegation meeting to let us know what they have going on and what they need our help and assistance in. So it's a time for the community to come out and let us. It's not really a time for us to get into discussions back and forth. It's more of an informational for us as their representative to know what is concerning to them and what we can help them with in the next session. Brevard County's is already set. We have ours set for Thursday, September 21st, and that'll be at the Brevard County Administration Building. And that'll be, Senator Hugel and myself and Representative Goodson and Representative Fine and Representative Palencia, and Representative Altman. We have a much larger delegation because we have a much larger area.
You find these things productive?
Absolutely, they are very productive. You have the citizens have some great ideas, and again, you can't know everything that's going on, and you can't know all the issues and problems that people are having. So this is a time where they come to us and say, here are some issues that we're having, and they're presenting it all at one time in front of everyone.
My liberal niece said, do you think Trump knows anything about health care? I said, no, I don't think so. He has 1 million people telling him all about health care and everything else. I mean, you're a representative, but there's such a wide variety of things that you have to be involved in.
That's correct.
That you need education. You need people to come to the table and help you.
That's exactly what these delegation meetings are about. It's a time for us to listen to what the citizens' concerns are, to advise us on what's happening.
What a concept.
It is, yeah, what a concept.
Listening, yes.
Exactly. So it's an exciting time to for people to come out and talk with us and have us all there at one time. This is when local bills are also presented to the delegation. So if there's a local bill that people are looking at wanting to file, this is a time for them to come present it to the delegation and for us to consider it. We have to actually vote on those. So it's
FPL?
FPL is having their groundbreaking of their solar facility that is west of town, and that's going to be on Monday.
Huge,
It's
to coin the phrase. They're going to be acres and acres of solar panels.
Yes.
And solar panels are getting more efficient and more price.
Yeah, the more efficient, and the price is coming down on them, so it makes sense. Not only are they doing one in Indian River County, but they're also doing a large one in Brevard County. That's right close to where the Barefoot Bay mobile home park is at, or our community is at. They're not mobile homes, but their community is at. Yeah. So Florida Power and Light is really stepping out on energy and going out on a limb on these solar. But,
where is this located at?
I don't know the exact location.
It's
south, close to 95. I know.
It's south of here. It's not. It's really The entrance is in Indian River County, and the rest of it, 90% of it, is in St. Lucie County.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I know it's close to 95 because I'm also speaking that Monday at the Brevard Women's Club. So I told Bart, our FPL contact, I said, look, I can be there, but I have to be back in Brevard County at 11:30 for a luncheon. And he goes, well, it's right off the 90. He says, right off the 95. You can do it. We'll get you in and get you out.
Oh, that's good.
And get on there. That's I haven't actually driven out there yet, but I'll do that today while I'm in town to make sure I can get back.
Oh yeah, do
That'd be a good
trial
idea.
run.
It's always-
Yeah, I do a lot of trial runs.
It's always good for that. What about All Aboard Florida? What are we doing with that? Anything?
Well, yeah, we are actually. There's a few things that's going to be coming through on that. They've pulled back on their financing to only include up to Palm Beach County. I think they're going to have a very difficult time getting the financing needed from the Palm Beach County
How about the
stop
state?
to
You're going to give them
Orlando.
any money?
No, the state is not giving them any money. We are not giving, I'm not voting for anything that is going to give them money.
Good for you.
So, we're also going to be working on an APAGA study for Florida
what
Development.
study?
It's APAGA. It's one of our government oversight committees that we have, and they're going to look at the Florida Development Finance Corporation. Because they were one of the entity of the state. It's supposed to be it's a public-private entity that we have that approved these bonds that they were going to be offering out there.
Uh-huh.
And so we're having an APAGA study on the Florida Development Finance Corporation as to their operations and how they make their decisions and just to make sure that they're doing the public a service,
Right.
because part of their funding is taxpayers. Some of it may be coming from the private entity, but part of it is also the taxpayers' money. So we want to make sure, because they're the ones that approved that $1.7 billion, bonding,
Uh-huh.
which then at that point they weren't able to sell them because they were basically junk bonds.
Right.
So we're going to be having that study going on. And listen, they could be, it could be a great project. Everybody wants to ride a train, and I'm not opposed to a train. It's just a matter of how's it going to get financed, and is the financing there, and just to ensure the fact that the state is not going to have to step in at some point and take over because we didn't do our due diligence to make sure that it was going to be a viable project. So I hope they are viable. I hope that they can make this work. But the concern I have is coming through our community. And we just need to make sure that our community is protected. And that community is the Martin County, St. Lucie, Indian River, and Brevard. People think Brevard is 100% on board with this project too. And the residents that I represent in the Midco area, the Bay area, the Melbourne area, where it's coming right through the middle of their towns,
Right.
they are not 100% on board with this project.
Rightly so.
So, exactly. So that's still one of my top priorities to stay on top of and to watch to make sure that our citizens, interest is taken into account in whatever they do.
I can't see them going through Stewart at 80 miles an hour.
Yes. If you ever been down to Stewart Confusion Corner, I mean, it's called that for a reason,
Yeah.
and then you're going to have the trains coming through it. So, I really would hope that there's something that could be worked out where they go west of town. When they leave Palm Beach, that they, somehow can get the financing together to buy the land necessary to go west of town and go straight there to Orlando.
Yes.
And that would be a more viable project. But again, it's all about the money, and if they can get the money together. So that'll be a continued watch on my list of how that is progressing. And I wish them all the best, and I hope they can make this thing work. But it's I'm concerned about the impact it has to our community and the economic impact to our community and the way of life that our community
I
has.
hope it works between Miami and West Palm, and that's where it stops working.
Yeah, and they've already started that, and
Yeah.
that may be the best that they do, but
Yeah.
but it's it's not that I'm against them. I'm just against
What it's going to do to our community. Yes.
who are the people I represent, and that's who I watch after. One of the other top priorities that I'm also going to be coming back with next session, it passed the Senate, but it didn't really get any traction on the House side, and that's my non-medical switching bill. Right now, when you contract with an insurance company for your prescription drugs, this entity that company contracts with is called Pharmaceutical Benefit Managers. And what they do during that 12-month contract period, they will actually switch your formularity from what the pill is you're taking from one brand to another brand. And so what we're telling, it may not be identical. They say they're identical, but they are not identical. So that's another bill that I'm going to push again next year. Say, look, it's a contract. You enter into a contract, then you have to fulfill that contract. You can't change your contract during that 12-month contract period. At the end of 12 months, you can, and then the consumer knows what they're getting into. But during that 12 month, you can't.
Well, you can do everything, I guess. I mean, but right now you just solved the health problem. So thank you for coming in, Debbie Mayfield.
You're quite welcome.
Senator Debbie Mayfield, thank you.
Thank you, David.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You're clear.
That is, you ever heard of Blink?
Yes, I don't know where I've heard it from, though.
Okay, here's Blink. I have a heart blood pressure medication called Diavan. It costs locally $110 a month. So for 3 months it would be $330. Get it from Canada, $110 for 3 months. Get it from Blink, $54.
Who is Blink?
Blink, you get on the internet and you get Blink, and if you have a prescription, they knock 80 to 90% off the prescription. Here's how it works: you sign up with them.
Drug? Is it the same brand drug, or do they have different?
Listen to me. You sign up with Blink on the internet, and you say, "I have a prescription from my doctor for Diavan, and I want to have it filled at CVS Pharmacy." Okay, you pay us $20 and we're going to give you $10 for joining, so it's only going to cost you $10. And you go with your little Blink card to CVS and pick up the prescription. The prescription, not a substitute, not a generic.
The one, huh?
The one.
How much does it cost you to join Blink?
So what that means to me is the drug companies are having a field day. I mean,
And we're on the internet,
off.
David.
Let me get,
On the internet, David.
let me get Facebook off.
You know, is that amazing?